Cześć, witajcie. Dzisiaj specjalny odcinek, wyjątkowy, niepowtarzalny, choć mam nadzieję, że to jest pierwszy z wielu, który będę miała okazję poprowadzić. Moją gościną i waszą gościną jest dr Szefali i najpierw mówię po polsku, ale zaraz zmienimy ten język na angielski, więc rozgośćcie się i przygotujcie, bo to będzie rozmowa jak żadna inna, wspaniała i cudowna. Trochę o rodzicielstwie, ale też w ogóle o życiu, bo dr Szefali ma taką wiedzę, która pokrywa wiele terytoriów. Dr Szefali. I'm so excited is just understatement.
Wow, I'm so excited too.
We're so privileged to have you here, but also I'm so excited that hopefully this conversation is gonna bring a little lightness to parenthood, because I think especially in Poland, I don't know if it's all around the world, maybe you can tell me, but I think we put so much heaviness on the idea of being a parent, and there's like a very narrow way of the way you can do it. So I wonder, is it the same everywhere in the world? Is just the narrow is different, or is it typical for the Eastern European countries maybe?
What do you mean by heaviness? That's a heavy word. Is it a burden? Is it a responsibility? Is it a fear? What is the heaviness?
I think it's about the expectations that you put on yourself, especially as mothers. We even have this saying in Polish that you say matka Polka, which is a Polish mother, which is like even a level up of a regular mother. Like you can do it all, you can meet all the expectations, you fulfill all the needs. This is the heaviness that I meant.
Wow. So the mother is putting all this pressure on herself that she should be the giver of all things. And yeah, in that kind of way, I think most mothers around the world take on that burden. And I think it has to do with our biology, that we are caregivers, we are nurturers. So being a mother is our great identity. Yeah. But then we have put so much pressure on ourselves because we're not living with our tribe, right? So it's just us. Now we're living in these isolated families, so there's more pressure on us to do this well. Yeah. And this is our identity. So I think that's where we get caught up, right? Like nothing matters more than this identity. Mm-hmm. And what I teach in conscious parenting is how to understand that, but also detach from it, right? Okay. Yes, it is an important identity, but it is not your ultimate destination. Mm-hmm. You cannot put all your chips in this identity, because then you're going to make your child suffer, because the child realizes that, oh my God, I am my mother's trophy, her PhD, her, swan song. And if I'm just ordinary or a loser or a failure, she will not survive. So that's not fair for our children, right? And we grew up like that, like knowing that we have to carry the tradition. But that's too much pressure on the child.
Yeah. Is it the same with fathers? I mean, do they have the same burden, or is it a different burden, or there's no burden at all?
I think it's a different burden, because men, and I say this, generally, they have the biological imperative to provide and to protect. So they are more in the doing, in the making money to make sure that their kids have everything and they feel good in that way. They're not really getting an identity to being a good daddy. They're getting the identity to be a good provider and, out there in the world with other men competing. They're not getting the same juice. Sure, they want to be a good dad, but not in the same degree like we mothers. And that's why we will suffer more. Yeah. Because our identity is dependent on a child. And how crazy, right? A child? So from 0 to 10, the children are confused. They're Jekyll and Hyde. They're up and down. Their brains have big holes. Yeah. So you're giving your power to a child? Like, no offense, but it's like, what are you doing, right? Mm-hmm. But men are giving their identity to something they can control at least. So that's why I think mothers feel more depressed. We get more burnt out. We are endlessly feeling bad about ourselves because we've given our power to things and people who are uncontrollable.
Mm. I really appreciate everything that you do, but especially the way you provide the knowledge that you have, the way you spread the knowledge, because there are so many beautiful minds in the world, but you're special as I see it, because you combine the knowledge, like you were describing the situation with fatherhood and motherhood a minute ago, but you do it in a way that it's easy to grasp, so it's easy to understand, but also there's lightness in the way you provide it with sense of humor. And I'm referring to one of the conversations I listened to with your daughter that you have in your podcast. And if you haven't seen it or heard it yet, this is a thing you have to do, because in this conversation, the one thing that I took out, I'm not a mother myself, I'm a stepmom, so it's a different kind of role, but your daughter is 22.
Yes.
And the conversation that you both I was listening to gave me some air to breathe, because as I understood, as parents, we will always fail one way or the other. No matter how old is the child, the failures are different, but it's not the thing that stops you from being a parent or trying to be a good parent. And that's what I heard in this conversation. What was the idea behind it, inviting your daughter to talk about it and have an overview of the relationship that you have?
Right. So what you're talking about, and I encourage everyone to watch this episode, but others as well, on my podcast. It's for free. It's called Parenting and You, if people want to watch. I invited her for that reason, to show parents that even I am making mistakes like every day. And we think good parenting is not to mess up. That doesn't exist. So when you create that fantasy that good parenting means I don't make mistakes, now you're terrified, and then you feel guilt and burnt out and this perfectionism. Good parenting is to be authentic, which means to show up and to grow. So you show up as you are, but then you get feedback, and then you maneuver in that feedback. But every relationship is so messy. Every relationship is messy. Some are messy a lot, especially with girls and mothers. I think between 16 to 25, I mean, I can do nothing right with my daughter. I shake my head like this. She's like, why are you shaking your head? I mean, all the time I'm making some mistake. But I don't look at it like a mistake. I look at it as she's figuring herself out and using this relationship to understand who she is, and I'm using this relationship to understand who she is and to grow. So if you look at the relationship as a foundation, as a garden for growth, you're not looking at it as like, oh, I was on the pedestal, now I've fallen. I was on the pedestal, I've fallen. Then you're just like falling all the time. If you look at it as growth, now you're growing all the time, right? It's a mindset. So many parents think that they have to be on the pedestal. You're going to burn out. I have no fantasy that I have been perfect or I should be perfect. I don't even think about it. I tell my daughter, I am ordinary, I am effed up, I am messed up. This is who I am, and I want to grow. But I'm not coming here, and you shouldn't ever think that you have an imperfect mother. And guess what? You're not perfect. And you don't have to be, right? So now I'm giving her permission. There's no perfection. So we're just figuring it out. And we're going to glitch. Oh, it was a glitch. Oh, another glitch. And if you look at it like that, you have resilience, you have patience, and you have freedom.
And there's also trust in it, that it's, no matter how windy the road is, it's leading somewhere. Like we're growing both.
I'm going to show up. I'm going to try. I want to hear you. And she said to me recently, you're going to do it again. Some mistake I always make, according to her. She's like, it's okay, Mom. You're just going to do it again. I said, yeah. And again, I'll try. I didn't say, oh, I'm not going to do it again. Because according to her, I'm going to do it again. So maybe she's right. Why would I put myself on this pedestal that I will not do it again? So I said to her, you're right. And again, you'll tell me. And again, I'll try. This is a relationship. I mean, there's nothing else. And I say to her, if you think I should be perfect, what a disaster. Because you have an expectation, then you are dependent on me. And I am dependent on this delusion that you have of me. I mean, it's a mess.
Yeah.
So I said, no. You have to accept that I am flawed, but I have to accept that I should try to grow. So it's both.
Yeah. And the perfectionism is a trap because I love thinking there's a perfect way to do things. I love being attracted to the idea that, there's a perfect way to lead a conversation.
Yeah.
But thanks to Brené Brown's work on shame, I've realized that it's non-existent. I cannot ever reach that place. So the faster I get it, the less disappointment in my life.
Yes, it's actually a complete mirage. Yeah. Like it doesn't even exist, this word perfect.
Yeah.
So because we have it in our language and because we have it in our idea, we think we are being very brave to try to be perfect, but we don't realize we're chasing a fiction. It doesn't even exist. So what are we even talking about? So we start here, not here. We start on the ground. I'm flawed. I'm ordinary. I'm average. I'm limited. Not as a way to put you down, as a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Like people look at it like, positive psychology says we should say, I'm amazing, I'm worthy. Okay, but you don't have to be. You can also just be regular and find strength in that.
Yeah.
But that means you're stripping away your ego. You're just like, when you think, oh my goodness, how did I make a mistake? That is your delusion that you shouldn't have made a mistake. But if you think, oh my God, today I didn't fuck up, you're like, yeah. And it's to do it with humor, to do it with compassion, and with an understanding of human nature. Human nature is incredibly limited. We're not limitless. We are limited people. And when you just accept it with courage, right, and grace,
life gets easier.
Life gets so easy. Yeah. Why should we be perfect? But all the institutions are created on perfectionism. So education is you should get A grades, you should finish school, then you go to college, then you should finish college, then you get a career and you should go to the top of career and you should get married and stay married. All of these are ideals that are fantasies. Yeah. And so then when you don't have a marriage that lasts, you think you're a failure. When you don't get A grades, you think you're a failure. It's a lie. It's a setup.
I think the same stories with religion sometimes, because it's especially in Poland, we have the dominant religion is Catholic. So there are very strict sort of rules or guides that you have to follow. And if you don't, again, it's sort of like a grading idea, like we're going to grade you or degrade you. So I guess part of the conversation about dropping the idea of being perfect is also allowing even the institutions like religion to make it a little bit easier to be flawed and still accept and love myself.
Right. Well, I didn't want to bring up religion, but since you did, that institution is the most controlling, brainwashing, soul hijacking institution. Because the fundamental premise is that there's a heaven and a hell. So there's a good and a bad. And when you live like this, you don't integrate. One is good and one is bad. So what are we teaching our children? Right? That any part of their shadow is to go. I mean, even hell is down. We don't, so it's like to suppress it. So when you suppress things, they actually become like a viral disease. When you integrate and bring things into the light, you actually grow. And religion, you're always earning points, right, to go to heaven, which is debatable if it even exists. So it's quite likely a fiction. Sorry, because there's no proof. Has anyone been there? Taken a picture? I mean, so we are basing things on the future that could not exist, but then it creates this fear and this control. Oh my God, I'm a sinner, I'm a thief, I'm a cheater. And then we do that more because now who to tell? How? And then we have to go for confession. I mean, it makes you feel so tainted, so contaminated, so poisonous. And the more you feel that guilt and shame, you put it on the side and it grows. And then it acts out.
Following on that, what's your take on the imposing religion on kids? So when you're brought up in a family that is this religion or that, do you think it's going to be 0-1, but do you think it's a job of a parent to impose the child to the religion they follow, or is it just leave it as a choice of their own?
I try to stay away from religion because people have such an issue with it. But, I grew up without any connection to a religion. Now people will think, how did she grow up? I mean, she's a sinner, or how did she learn good from bad? Let me tell you, religion does not teach you good or bad. Religion teaches you fear and control. I grew up without an idea of a God, and I am very moral. I raised my daughter without an idea of God, and she is moral. She's never even done anything. If she lies, she comes and tells me, like, Mom, I lied. So honest about everything. But religion is something we have to, if you want to be a conscious parent, you have to understand that you are giving your child a system of how to think based on no facts. Number one, putting your power on something outside that we don't know if it exists. Telling her or him that they are good only if they do these things and bad if they don't. Number 4, my religion, meaning I don't accept somebody else's religion. That creates a separation. Number 5, an identity based on this religion is false. We can never base our identity on anything outside. So it's very problematic. But people are not open to even questioning it. I believe if we have to awaken and become conscious, you have to question, not say no, just question marriage, education, religion, monogamy, sexuality, homosexuality. Open your mind. But if you stay shut and go, this is my faith and this is what I believe in, okay, you live in a box. I don't want to live in a box. I want to know you. I want to know you. I want to understand everything because you have one life. But if you want to live in your little box and go to your synagogue or your church or your temple or your mosque and just stay, wow, you're going to be controlled and not realize that you're controlled. You don't even know you're controlled.
And you miss a lot because there's so many interesting things around and exploring. But I guess I think Gabor Mate said that the trouble that we have as human beings is trying to hold two contradictions in one space of time. Like, so is it this or that? It can be both. It can be both at the same time.
So in Buddhism, the Buddha taught, he did not teach Buddhism. He was against any ism. But the teachings of the Buddha are all about non-duality, meaning non-one or this, right? The Western world, because of heaven and hell, has created a duality, either this or this. And to be able to hold many realities is very hard. Now, in older religions like Hinduism, now Buddhism and Taoism don't even talk about God. They talk about nature, the Tao, the way of things, natural. They didn't create a God. In Hinduism, they have many gods, polytheism. At least in polytheism, you have to accept all the gods. So just by being poly, you open your mind. Now, in the most new religions, which is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, it's monotheism. One. That's it. One is a problem. Mono. Now you're not open. And you see all the problems in the world mainly are from these three. It's so fundamental. It's one. When you think of one, we have a problem. So monotheism, monogamy, this is you get boxed in monopoly, right? Capitalism, you get boxed into one system and then you don't open your mind.
Yeah. And when you talk about this, I want to combine it with parenthood, because even, as I said, I'm not a mother myself, and it's people judge people who do not have children. And I want to go to see your point of view, because there's so many expectations about being a parent.
Yeah.
But there are, I don't know, even more, maybe at least the same amount of expectations or judgments around people who decide not to have or cannot have, or they were trying and they didn't succeed.
Yeah.
Why there is so much, pressure on having children?
Yes. So not everyone is supposed to be a mother. Not everyone should be a mother or needs to be a mother. It is a mythology, another institution, motherhood.
Yeah.
That's another institution, right? Like marriage. It's like, oh, you're not married. Oh, you don't have a partner. Or you're not straight. All these are institutions. In nature, every animal doesn't have babies. And in the human female, she has so many choices today. And she can be a mother in different ways. And anyway, you are a mother, because in any way, we are all parents to our own inner child, number one. You are a mother of your podcast. You're a mother of so many people. You're a mother of your stepchild. Yeah. And a woman is always a mother anyway. Now, whether she biologically has a child or not is her choice. But I think it's other women mainly who judge, because they know how much they have had to suffer. So they want everyone to suffer, It's the same with when I got a divorce. The women came to me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, don't be sorry for me.
I'm
not.
sorry
for you. Yeah, because I know your marriage. Your marriage is a fake marriage. You're sleeping in different rooms. You barely have sex. You're roommates. I know all my friends' marriages. They're like, so I'm like, don't be sorry for me. But you see, because they are in the marriage and they couldn't get out, they want us to stay. In the same way, when I see a woman who's not a mother and is okay with it, part of me is like, damn, she gave herself the choice. I didn't give myself the choice. I really didn't. I just was like, I'm becoming a mother. I wish I had stopped and made a conscious choice. I didn't make a conscious choice. It's okay with me, but I know I didn't make a conscious choice. So when I see a woman like you who is thinking about it and more intentional, I am, a little bit envious, like, wow. And I think that envy can become jealousy, and then they put you down.
Yeah.
Women put other women down more than anything.
Yeah. And also about the act of creation. Again, we think so narrowly that the only thing you can create is a baby.
Oh my God.
You can create so much.
And as a mother, I can tell you, I could have, I'm glad I did it. I mean, look what all I did with it. I could have also done without it. It's fine. It's not made my life like I'm a hero. Every day I'm in trouble. Every day I have to look at myself in the mirror. I could have done with less of that. I'm poorer. I'm more exhausted. I am stressed. I'm guilty all the time. I'm worried now really? I didn't need all of that. Yeah. So don't make it, mothers make it like this romantic virtue. No, it's pretty much hell on most days. Okay.
And it's very intense.
That's what I mean. It's intense for a mother to be, and I'm only a mother of one child, and I'm so glad, I'm like, thank goodness I'm only doing this once. And of course there's joy and it's amazing, but I think we overdo the romantic because we want to feel good about our decision. It's a lot of work. And for a woman who doesn't have a baby, I'm like, good for you. You can live a whole different kind of life.
Yeah. I do have a privilege of choices that my girlfriends do not have.
Yeah.
Like the idea of, okay, I'm just gonna, have a weekend off or something. But the perception of people like me, that maybe my life is less worthy.
Oh my God.
It comes up every now and then. Like, you don't know life, Joanna. Like, if you had children, you would.
Yeah. And this idea again that there's a better way to live is coming out of insecurity. how can anybody say that there is one better way to live?
Yeah.
As a mother, as married, as straight, as Catholic, Baptist, whatever. There is no one way. And this is where we create separation out of judgment. And judgment comes out of insecurity. Actually, we are insecure. So when they tell you that, go, you're right. Just let them be right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I am half a person compared to you. You're right. And I think when you say that and don't feel bad about it, you make them feel bad, because they're trying to put on you some shame.
Yeah.
And whenever anyone puts shame on someone else, it's because they have something inside them.
Yeah. Going back to the conscious parenting, because this is the theme of your life. And I want to, before I ask you a question, I just want to applaud the way you, again, spread your expertise and knowledge, because you do not put yourself on a pedestal. You just stand among us and says, you know what, I'm flawed as everybody else. I try to do my best, but I still do make the mistakes. And I think that's what brings people closer to you, because you're not some perfect, again, example of motherhood or psychologist. Even psychologists, I it's a personal point of view, but I so applaud people who do the job that I do, but do it in an authentic way. So I want to thank you for that. That you're human, but also you're this expert, but also you're human, and you're. So thank you for using.
I think one of the things parenting gives you, if you're awake, is humility. So if you don't have humility, oh my God, parenting brings you to your knees. That is something you may not have because you've not been stripped of your ego as much. Because that is something I will say, if you want that lesson, you want to be stripped. Because, man, there is no parent I have met who doesn't have a child at some point in their life that makes them fall down. And they go, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm lost. I'm helpless. And those are the turning points where we can grow. And that's what I tell people. Like, that is the moment when people come to see me. That is the moment when they take my courses. That is when they're like desperate. But that is a turning point where they awaken. Because now nothing is working. When you become a parent, you think, how hard can it be? It's my child. And it's my genes. I'm amazing. The kid is going to be amazing. And when your kid goes and crashes, it is such an ego death. You're like, my genes? I failed. Mm-hmm. I'm with this person every day. This person hates me. This person is a drug addict. This person is a screen addict. I am responsible. And you crash. Mm. But that is the moment where you can rise.
How so?
You have to you go to get help. You cannot do it without help. And read my books, and then you begin to realize that a big part of your relationship with your child was based on you as a child, and that you never healed. That's why we all are parents. Conscious parenting is raising your inner child. Then you can raise the real child. So that rock bottom moment makes you realize, I've not even paid attention to my real child, because all I cared about was my own needs. But I didn't know that. I was living my unhealed self through my child. So I made my child play the piano. I made my child get A grades, and I pushed my child because I was not seen. So I wanted myself to be seen through my child. When you realize that, like you were looking in a mirror, but you didn't realize, and you used your child, which is all of us have done this, then you wake up. And your child makes you see that, or a relationship, or an intimate relationship. Either your partner or your child, Yeah.
It's no matter where you look, you're going to learn something.
You're going to learn. But the child more in one way, because you think as a parent, it's my child. How bad can it be? Mm-hmm. And then when that goes bad, see, with a partner, you didn't raise the partner. So you can blame his mother, right? Look at your childhood. His father really abused him. you're a little bit separate.
Yeah.
But with the child, you are the parent. Where are you going to run? You know?
Sometimes I wish, I know it's just ideal, but sometimes I wish that people, when I hear stories of people adopting kids, I wish that the same screening process or this
I know.
was with the,
I know.
with bearing your own.
Yes. When I left the hospital with my baby, I was like, they're just letting me leave? Like they're not going to follow me home, see where I live? How are they letting me go? Yeah. No screening, no supervision, no continuing education, no credits, no license.
Yeah.
Completely rogue. Now, when we lived in tribes, there was supervision. There was control. The aunties, the grandmothers, the mother, they were all living together. Yeah. So the 30-year-old woman or the 25-year-old mother didn't have to do it alone. There were people there who helped her. Now you go home and you're on your own. This is the neuroses of our modern culture.
Yeah. And the way out would be to ask for help, but there's again an expectation.
Shame. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely. You're too weak. If you ask for help, you're like
yes.
Good
and in India, thankfully, you know, my mother came for 8 months and I needed more help. I needed 3 mothers and I had no problem asking for help because I grew up in a culture where everybody helped. But my Western friends, my American friends, European friends, they had nobody. Their mother came for 2 weeks. Yeah. And they were like, give us your mother. And I was like, maybe that's a good business. But what do you do? So the mother who cannot afford a nanny, the father goes to work, the husband goes to work, she's given up her career, her body's a wreck, her hormones are a wreck, she doesn't know how to raise this child.
Yeah. And she's on her own.
And she's on her own.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
So if you were to meet parents or future parents thinking about having a child, if you were to lay down a map, what would you tell them? Like, this is what you're going to come across.
Well, first I would say it's amazing, but it's also hell. And don't have this romantic idea that this is going to make you and your partner closer. No, it's going to be a bomb. Okay. It's going to bring up everything and things you never imagined that you've not dealt with. Every day you're going to look in the mirror. Every day you're going to have to deal with your inner fears. It is a masterclass in ego death. Now, if you want that, here, take it. But don't think it's like, oh, it's my happy family and my child is going to go to Harvard and it's going to be amazing. Then you're going to crash. It is the hardest thing in the world. Any parent sitting out there feeling like a loser, frustrated, wanting to run away, escape, dreaming of like, oh, her life before, her life after, when everybody's in college. That is normal. I dreamed. Mm-hmm. My daughter's 22. I'm like, okay, when is this going to finish? No, I say it. I'm tired. I'm done. Finish, expiration. I cannot do this forever because we're doing it alone. We're not supposed to do it alone. So when we carry the weight and now we want to have careers and look amazing, it's no time. So I'm burnt out. And every day I've been burnt out. So I am trying to tell other women, don't feel bad about it. Don't feel ashamed. This is normal. Mm-hmm. Now let me help you, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And actually normalizing, like this is what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
It's not you're doing it wrong because you're tired. It's just the landscape.
Yeah. How are you not tired?
Yeah.
Like, how are you not exhausted?
Yeah.
If you aren't exhausted by your parenting today, you're not parenting.
Doing it right.
You're not even there. Right. If you're not on the daily, frustrated, exhausted, tired, you're not even there.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of pressure on us.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to switch lanes to, because I've been asked this question. I've been asked to ask you this question. What's with the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus? Are we, because I was asked, Joanna, like, we're lying to our kids. Like, there's no Tooth Fairy. There's no Santa Claus. So they're going to figure it out one way or the other. But maybe it's wrong. What do you think?
Listen, So about the Tooth Fairy and Santa and, everything is a fantasy. Christmas, everything. So it's okay, children like stories, they like fantasies. It's fun. You're not damaging. You're doing a lot more damage in other ways.
Yeah.
By your unhealed self, by your anxieties, by your fears. Making up about the Tooth Fairy, it's fantasy. It doesn't matter. Children live in fantasy. The problem is adults live in fantasy. It's okay if the child lives in fantasy. They will grow out of it. The problem is our other fantasies, to be perfect, this worshipping a god, that marriage should be forever. These are fantasies.
Yeah.
And then when those crash, how about we learn how to deal with that? The child will get over Santa Claus,
That's a great take on it, yeah. And one more question.
We are lying to ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
In much bigger ways.
That is true. And the moment you realize it's a fantasy, it hurts. So
then you hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you one more question about the geopolitical situation that we're living in, especially in Poland. We have just next to our border the war. And the war breaks in Israel, Gaza, and in Africa. And children, we introduce the world to the children. How do we tell them about the world that we're living in?
And another reason not to have children, because you're bringing them into a broken system. This is not a place to have children. You should feel really good. Because this is like you are bringing them in to a complete, bomb blast, and there are broken glass, and you're telling them to feel safe.
Yeah.
And they're like, ouch, 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 everywhere, ouch, ouch, I'm bleeding, Mom. And you're like, I'm going to keep you safe, but you're not keeping them safe. So this is the reality. Now, within this reality, you try to protect them, because children till the age of 10 or 12, 15, they cannot be exposed to this. So take away their phones, take away the TV. Now you've brought them into this world, protect them. Protect them, because allowing them to be exposed for the sake of that's the news, they should know. No, their brains cannot handle this. This absolute terrorizing violence. No, they're not supposed to be exposed to this. Hypersexuality, not exposed to this. So now you have to protect them. So keep them away from this digital hyper exposure.
Is it even possible to keep them?
That is the job now. What to do, right? When I raised my daughter, I was so excited. Here's a phone. Well, we didn't know, right? I'm like, here, eat some chocolate. I didn't know it was, here's some heroin. I didn't know that. They lied to us. They manipulated us. But now parents know that this is heroin. So don't give your child heroin. So it's really as simple as that. If I was to do it again, let my child hate me, scream all day, I will not give my child heroin. I gave my child heroin. I didn't know it was heroin. So I educate other parents now to not make the same mistake.
Prolong the moment they get it? Or?
Yes, way like 17, 16. Okay. Give it very... It is so bad for them. It's so bad for me and you. Yeah. It's so bad for... Don't you see that? Yeah. Like you're scrolling and then you're like, 30 minutes have gone. Yeah. And I feel I have not understood, I've not learned. I just feel bad about myself. I'm watching violence and beauty and makeup. I mean, really? It is toxic for our brain.
But it touches on the idea of being a part of, and high school or the primary school is the moment children realize that they need to belong.
So you need to teach your child from young, like you did, like my generation did for sex or alcohol. I had to talk to my daughter from 7 years old, 8 years old about drugs, about, being careful about her body. Yeah. Now you talk about the digital drug from an early age. So you tell them when you're 12 years old, all your friends are going to say, come, drink, like be on the phone. Yeah. You cannot. It's a drug. You have to talk like that.
Yeah.
Same thing,
Yeah. My mother says that because everybody keeps saying that the world changed and it's different now. And my mom says, no, it's always been the same. It's just a different colors, like different, as you said, like it was, you know, a heroine then, and now it's technology. So it's not that very much different.
Except that just... now, at least it was illegal.
Yeah.
This is not illegal.
Yeah.
This is in the schools.
Yeah.
You know, it's one day my daughter came home and she was studying math on a tablet, you know, and with her finger. Yeah. So, you know, math is like, you have like all the lines and, you know, you have to divide and like long. And she's with her little pudgy finger making a big mess with her fingers. Mm-hmm. So I called the teacher and I said, what is this? Like, why is she not using a pencil? And they're like, you know, we are all using iPads. And he thought it was a great thing. And look what our children cannot read, cannot write, cannot hold a pencil, cannot do math. Yeah. We're destroying. It's already.
No.
So now what do? Right? Now we have to, with this awareness, parents have to create islands of bubbles of protection. More than ever before, because the drug is in the house. Yeah. What are you going to do now? Yeah. And you're the drug dealer.
Yeah.
You know, you're smoking the pot with them.
Yeah. Just as a way of moving forward, because our conversation is going to end eventually. But if people want to follow you, if they want to be certified, if they want to know more about conscious parenting, where do they go?
Yeah. If parents want listening, they feel like, wow, I want to know more. I want to really be a better parent. I want to get trained by her. Then they should join my institute. It's for parents who want to be better parents. Really, like in 5 months, you learn how to be a better parent, which you never will learn anywhere. And then you also learn how to help other parents. So if you're a psychologist, a coach, a nurse, a doctor, and you want to help parents, I certify you to be a coach, a parent coach and a life coach. Mm. And it's 5 months all online. And I have a discount code for Poland. It's Poland is the discount code, $500 off.
Perfect.
So if people want to explore. But I also have a community. I also have a podcast. So they can find me on my website, drshefali.com.
And we do have a Polish version of your book,
yes.
which is the one you can buy and dive straight into. But also, when you were mentioning the institute, I thought that skilling up with the parenting skills, I think it's skilling up with human skills.
Yes.
So yes. even if you don't have children.
Yes. Oh, I have so many people who are not parents who are in their 20s because they want to get self-development.
Yeah. So we highly encourage you to read and join the institute or start with the podcast. And I highly recommend the one with your daughter because it's mind-blowing. And it's also, as I said before we started rolling, that I was listening to both of you talking and I was like, oh, I wish I had the same with my mom. And also acknowledging that it might never happen because, as we said, because of the generation gap, I mean, the skill set, the ability to name things. But it was just a beautiful visualization that I had of the possibility of having that conversation. So thank you for that.
Yes. If people want to find it, they just have to put Dr. Shefali and daughter in YouTube and it'll show up.
Or Spotify, wherever. So it's worth the find. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Such an incredible opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. And I do hope to see you more often in Poland.
Yes.
And or maybe somewhere else in the world. Who knows? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cześć, nazywam się Asia Chmura i stworzyłam platformę rozwoju osobistego On My Way. Każdego miesiąca na platformie zajmujemy się innym obszarem, który w sobie rozwijamy i wzmacniamy. Są to dziesiątki wykładów, które pomogą zrozumieć siebie i świat, podcastów, które oswoją wyzwania i pomogą w trudnościach, spotkań z ekspertami i ekspertkami, którzy i które wspaniale uzupełniają aktualnie opracowywany temat, medytacji dopasowanych do aktualnego obszaru, nad którym pracujemy, artykułów, które piszę specjalnie dla Was i które są inspiracją do dalszej pracy i rozwoju, cotygodniowych zadań, które przekładają teorię w praktykę oraz warsztatów online, które pomagają uruchomić, a potem wdrożyć zmiany. A wszystko to dostępne 24 godziny na dobę, na każdym urządzeniu, z każdego miejsca na świecie. To Ty wybierasz jak, gdzie i w jakim tempie się rozwijasz. Nic Cię nie ominie, bo wszystkie materiały dostępne są tak długo, jak długo masz aktywny abonament. Nie czekaj, zarejestruj się już dziś i dołącz do mojej platformy. Odważ się żyć życiem, o którym marzysz.